I find this cave is a really interesting space. It moves me in the same way that a large cathedral would move me. It's not a religious experience. It's interesting in that it looks like a dark, uninviting, cold space. But because of all these large bumps and crevices, you have this chaos in the space. Typically, we all live in these very modern buildings where you have lots of flat surfaces made of concrete and drywall. And that's essentially acoustically like living in a hall of mirrors. You get these very hard reflections that are very clean, and everything's ringing at very specific frequencies. In here, everything is so irregular. You have very large dents, you have huge caves, you have very, very small bumps on every surface. For me, it's a really interesting sound. It's so different from what we're used to these days that it's nice to just sit here and listen to the sound of my voice coming back, or the sound of the water running and filling up the space, and hearing that echo, that reverberation coming from all directions all at the same time. It's a very enveloping, a very spacious kind of environment. So although it looks cold and damp and it's dark and scary, at the same time it feels open and airy if you're just paying attention with your ears. People will talk about, they walk through the woods and it's so peaceful. Like that's a special event. Nobody listens to, most people don't listen to how their world sounds when they're just walking down the street, or when they're sitting in a park, or when they're at work. It's interesting at the end of each day, if you stay late enough at work, when you hear the air conditioning shut down at the end of the day, suddenly it's a different space, just because this rumble that you didn't even know was there is suddenly gone. You're only made aware of that sound by the fact that it's been removed. Unfortunately, we're too uptight to play with that and to make funny noises and to stamp around and listen to echoes and stop and look like an idiot because you're listening to the space around you. We're too afraid of what people might think.